Experienced flirts of Reddit. What advice can you give for shy people on how to flirt? People don't care that much if you say something embarrassing or weird, so you shouldn't care either. From what I've learned, most girls actually like it when you're just talking about whatever you feel like, even if it's kinda goofy or weird, because it brings up genuinely good conversation that isn't the boring stuff they always talk about with guys trying to flirt with them. I constantly cringe at things I've said to people in the past. Then I tell myself to try and recall something cringy that someone else has said in a conversation with me. Almost always come up empty because most people forget about those things quickly and just move forward. It's not a license to say whatever you want to people, but cut yourself a break. To me, it's all about how I'm talking and thinking. Clear your head and have a nice, smooth and clear speech. It also helps me to have something in my hands, so that if I ever do get nervous or fidgety, I can just casually mess with whatever I'm in my hands. Hope this helps. A couple of years ago, I was traveling on the train and saw a friend of mine. I went to him and said, "Hey, it's been a while. How are you?" And then, to my biggest shock, I realized that he's not my friend. I had a bad eyesight, but at that point it was too late, so I went along with it. He seemed happy to talk to me, and we actually started a conversation. We both pretended that we knew the other one. It was funny. At some point, he said we should continue the conversation over a drink, and I said yes. I used to be a shy girl, and it was a long and hard journey to become more extrovert. But this story made me realize that talking to guys is actually very easy. Well, to those of us who will talk back, I had that whole Rajesh syndrome from Big Bang Theory issue for my first year of college. Don't try to be too cute if you don't know what you're doing. Just be straightforward and have the confidence to be upfront about what you want. Hello, I am a shy person and I recently got a GF. She was also shy. We would talk about her field of study, sometimes about school, sometimes about my stuff. Mainly, it took time before our conversations were longer than 4 sentences long. Anyways, while talking I would maybe do a little joke here and there, tease her a bit if she made a mistake while talking or said something controversial. She kinda noticed my pattern and started doing it herself. I didn't know at the time, but I guess we were flirting. Then it just kinda naturally escalated and now I'm too deep in and scared. Loving every second of it. Whenever I talk to girls about my stuff, they call me a creep. Decide you are not actually interested in them and are just trying to be nice to them before beginning your attempt to flirt. That's certainly a great way to have a normal but conversation. If you're shy, you're shy. That's a trait you can work on. But if you're in a moment where you have not done the work, but still need to make that talk happen because otherwise he is gone forever, you gotta push through. To push through, do not flirt. I know, seems counterintuitive, but hear me out. Flirting implies a potential romantic and, more short-term, sexual relationship. What you wanna go for is just talking. A conversation can be about whatever. What counts is that you talk, listen to them, focus on what they are saying and talk accordingly. Ask them follow-up questions. People like being listened to. Being a good listener is one of the most alluring qualities you can have. Once you feel comfortable, maybe a few beers helped as well, you can go and ask if maybe they would like to continue talking another time and get in contact. One night stands? As a fellow shy guy, this isn't gonna come out of your corner. If it happens, let yourself be dragged along for the ride, but chances are you won't make it happen by yourself. For that you need to work on the core problem, your shyness. Pretend you two are friends. It'll ease the tension. Be fun. Don't be touchy unless they engage. This goes for both sexes. Don't be touchy unless they engage. This goes for both sexes. Who the frick engages first in that situation then? I'm female and flirted for a living. Was a stripper for years. Do not think of anything except them. When you look at them, focus on how much you like them. When you talk to them, same thing. You can talk about something as mundane as the weather, but as long as you're simultaneously thinking about how you're enjoying looking at them, you're going to give off signals. You're going to smile and laugh more easily and be more attractive yourself in general. Psychologically speaking, people freaking love to feel like you like them, so make sure you do and focus on that. Works like a charm. Trust me. I did this and people started showering me with dollar bills. 3/5 efficient advice. Failure happens. Try, fail, try again. Read the room. Don't be a creep. Start simply. Hello, can I buy you a drink? I'm going to pick some songs on the jukebox. Any preferences? Those are all valid conversations. Not starters. Conversations. Read the room. A non-reply is a reply. Keep practicing. Talk to everyone, not just people you're interested in. It will help you learn to communicate and be less creepy. Read the room. If nobody is talking outside their group, go someplace else. If they are engaged in private conversation, don't insert yourself. See what works and what doesn't, then keep practicing. Do volunteer work and talk to strangers. Talk to co-workers. You can't flirt until you can talk comfortably. Don't flirt. Just talk to them like you would any other person you're not interested in. Nature will take its course from there. We'll second this. If you are both interested in each other, normal talking will start to take on a flirtatious tone on its own. No need to force it. By no means an expert, but this seems to work. Give your name and make her laugh before you try to get her number. I think the theory behind it is that laughing releases a bonding hormone and knowing each other's name creates a sense of connection knowing each other, so it's basically being a complete stranger versus being somewhat of an acquaintance. Definitely an advantage. Void flirt. Bull flirt. Get response. If response equals hot, call plus. Flirt. Else. Return. Hope this helps. Gotta love the computer programmers that come on here looking for flirting advice and end up in an argument about how to write code properly. If you are shy, probably you have stalked that person a little bit. That's like 95% of the times you will actually find some interest in them. Next step is try to start a convo about it, like you are talking to a bro sis. That's it, you got your line. Luckily I've seen a bunch of videos on the internet about how a bro sis should interact after talking to. Not an experienced flirt person, but experienced I missed the chance person. Try not overthinking it. I'm pretty shy, nervous and overthink it. Found out many years later my teenage crush had a crush on me. None of us told each other. I nearly missed my last chance too. I luckily had a frick that crap moment and just took the chance to give a more than obvious hint. I told him instead of talking, in that case flirting, to a random girl he should talk to me instead, and then it just went on. He's my BF now. Comma doesn't mean it always work out, but TBH my missed chances bother me more than the rejections in the end. Also, speaking from the other side of the flirt, I felt most comfy with guys not exaggerating the flirt to the point it got creepy and rather stay natural normal. Guys telling me I seem nice and want to know me better. Okay. Guys telling me after a couple of minutes they will never let me go again. Starting to get creepy. Get to know the person. Be sure you're interested in the whole package, not just looks. Look for common ground. Listen to them and their anecdotes. Don't pull them out of social conversations. Let them try get you alone. Don't corner them. Recognize that you're not everyone's cup of tea. Smile at them. Make short bursts of eye contact. Remember important things about them. Let them make the first moves, adding to socials etc. Be prepared to be told no thank you, you're not my type, to which your response should be sorry, you're great and I wish we were compatible. Do not set up your whole future mentally with a human you just met and had a few conversations with. It's unhealthy and they will feel the intensity of your neediness. Get some personal aspirations and don't overtly focus on seeking companionship above all else. You tend to get into your best relationships when you aren't trying too hard. Maybe your issue isn't not knowing how to flirt, it's not knowing how to live. One of the best answers here. I do what I call drive-by flirting. No words exchanged, no break in your pace. It's all about eye contact, gaze, eyebrows, and a smirk. It's fun to watch reactions. Actual face-to-face flirting is more difficult because I tend to panic a little and gtfo when it's time to actually do something more than implying. Inciting blue balls seems mean, so I stick to the micro interactions. For men the secret is to be polite and nice, and a major game to play is do they know I want to sleep with them. Talking to someone casually with no obvious ulterior motives is the easiest way to ensure success. Also do small simple things to show they matter to you. Good morning texts are a easy one to start that early morning conversation and keep it going. If they reply often and in depth, you know you're doing something right, but if you just get single, short answers, cut your losses. Go up. Just ask if anyone has that seat. Take it if yes. Find something on her that you can acknowledge with a question, and try to find something in the conversation to keep it going. Eventually you'll build up charisma and wit to say something funny and or flirty. The trick is to practice. Always be flirting. You'll learn how to read people, read the room, and importantly, read the time physical constraints of the situation. I learned from my super connector wife that you just need to try to connect with everyone you can as a habit. Nowadays I never miss an opportunity to, non-sexually, flirt with the checkout person, the sales associate, the waiter waitress. It's about being present and proactively, unexpectedly nice when you're interacting with people. Flattery is cheap, but when you ask them what they think the best item to buy is, you show deference to their opinion and get that connection going. I don't flirt to get something. I flirt to practice for that time when I do need help, so it doesn't come across as needy or manipulative. I taught my son and daughter to always be flirting, and it pays off regularly and immediately. Better seats, better tips, recommendations, and just better interactions with every person I talk to. And if that is suddenly sounding suspicious, I'm an unattractive 50 years old male who had no game in my youth and still struggle with eye contact. Be funny and don't care too much. It's how I do it. I'm not afraid of making a joke, and I don't care too much if she's into me or not. If she is, then she'll tell me. If she does not tell me, then I'll ask nothing. I have no time for people who don't fight for what they want. Also, don't bother people. You don't need to 24/7 text them, neither do they need to do it. I learned it the hard way. Good side is I did. Go in understanding that most of the time your target will either be in a relationship, not interested in you at this very moment, or for some other reason it is just bad timing and not your fault or what you look like. The odds are stacked against you without taking into account your shyness or looks at all. Go in, put your cards on the table, and be okay with being turned down and get the next one. If you can just get words out and you happen to be sitting in that small window where the timing is right, then the rest will take care of itself. Practice. Choose the attractive cashier and flirt with them on the way through the line. Keep it light and short. Compliment their hair or item of clothing and leave it at that. Don't look for compliments in return. Get your joy from making someone else feel good about themselves. Don't overdo it. One compliment and done unless it sparks a conversation. Then roll with the convo. This means very little to you. You just bought your thing, talked to an attractive person, smiled and moved on. It was easy and left both of you feeling good. Once you are comfortable, try it with a stranger in line, then move on to someone you actually like. Have fun. Instructions unclear. Got married into a grocery chain family. Eye contact. It's the most important part. If you think about what you want them to feel and lock eyes, the rest should come naturally. Confidence is key. Be yourself. Show yourself. Enjoy yourself. If it feels forced on your part, you're probably doing it wrong. It should feel natural with no thoughts of I'm flirting with this person. Just start with getting comfortable talking to them, and the flirting part will happen organically when you are hitting it off. They will isolate in a sense and kind of make it obvious they only want to be engaging with you if they are interested. Also, most of the time, less is more, in terms of being obvious about your intentions. Chances are they already know, otherwise you wouldn't be spending your time talking to them in the first place, and vice versa. If you're an introvert or have social anxiety, it is the last thing that feels natural. It's the most stressful thing imaginable. Give them the ball. Hey, I am nervous, but I was hoping to get to know you, though. Give them respect with pure honesty. That's really all the icebreaker you need. Compliment something they are wearing, especially if it's a unique item. Something like, that color looks great on you. Nice shoes, those are super cool. That's a really unique necklace, you pull it off pretty well. It's a good intro, and then you can just talk about the thing and have a casual conversation. Mention the weather next or anything you might have in common. Classes, the location you are, etc. The goal is to just carry a conversation for a few minutes or so and see how it is. The conversations doesn't have to be hitting on someone, just conversational and putting out the vibe that you think they're cool. Practice by being conversational towards service workers. If there isn't a long line behind you, just simply ask how their day is going and get used to talk to strangers. Accumulate interesting knowledge and use it to help seeds of conversation to sprout. You have a powerful smell, she might say. Interesting you bring that up. Speaking of powerful smells, did you know that whale vomit is used to make high-end perfumes? My go-to is bantering with them. A little sarcasm and poking fun at someone, in a gentle, not rude type of way, can go a long way. Just be sure you know the line between mean and playful. You don't want to actually insult the person you're trying to flirt with. Also, as a female that is genuinely very into sports, that's an easy topic for me to bond over with most guys. Plus, if I bring it up and they try to interrogate me about it or don't believe I'm knowledgeable about them, then I know right away they're not worth the effort. It's all in the eyes. Other than that, flirting is different for every person, but eyes are a constant for everyone, some exceptions. It's really hard to describe with words, but it all, in my experience anyways, comes down to 3 specific points. 1. Where your eyes were before eye contact. 2. The quality and speed with which your eyes leave eye contact. 3. Where they go after. Those are the basic ingredients. There's lots of extra spices you can add in between to really make it work for you. My personal favorite is the icy hot, which I will explain in further detail below, like smiling, physical touching. Avoid if you are bad at reading body language. Honestly, emo. Just avoid in general. I'm really good at reading body language, and still, physical touch is only a move I will go for if it's a make it or break it, seal the deal kind of thing. It's just too easy to make somebody uncomfortable that way. 1 in 3 sometimes can't be helped, and more often than not 1 is pretty lackluster. But I'll try to give some examples where it does work. For instance, if you're trying to get a one-night stand with a thought, for 1 and 3 your best bet might be to let him catch you checking them out. Most people aren't a fan of this, however, so you probably want some more romantic flirtation for a man who has your heart. The heart of romance with this tactic all lies in point 2. Let's say you've just locked eyes with a girl. You give her a smirk or what have you, and go to turn your head to something else. You're gonna wanna let that eye contact linger as long as you can, so start to turn your head away but keep those eyes locked. Leave them there until your head turning away finally forces your eyes to leave theirs. Boom, you've just begun flirting. If you want the most basic and effective strategy in the game for breaking the ice, here it is. The icy hot. I call it that because it's when you go from cold to hot. It works the best if you've got a resting bee butthole face or a very warm smile. And it works even better if you have a resting bee butthole face and a very warm smile. It's simple. Eye contact, W, resting face. Brief pause. Warm smile. The reason it's so effective is because there's something so worrying about somebody making eye contact with you who is seemingly pee off. And the second you break that with a smile, all the tension you just created, and then some, slips away. All of the above. Add in some confidence, and you're on your way. Don't hesitate. If you're chatting with someone and you need to think for a while for every response, they're gonna get bored and move on. It's kind of the opposite of the rest of life and the old adage, better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. You've got to keep the conversation moving and to seem interested and invested. Don't talk about yourself or about them to excess. Don't litter your conversation with pop culture references. Don't interrupt them. Make eye contact, but not constantly. If it's hard for you to engage in conversation with the opposite sex, then just have a couple drinks and just go with it. This might sound stupid, but it works. But don't get too drunk where you're making a fool of yourself, but just enough to where it loosens you up. What helped me was ignoring the romantic and slightly misogynistic view that the girl I'm talking to is my destiny. If you just treat her like a normal human being and be upfront about it, you'll feel a lot more confident. Also, if things don't work out, don't become friends with her just in case she changes her mind. She won't. You're wasting your time. All those movies where the childhood friends become lovers are fantastical because it doesn't actually happen in real life. Just move on. Speaking from experience. The amount of people that you interact with IRL that you'll never see again is so high. Just freaking do it. If a guy doesn't like you or doesn't pick it up, frick it. On to the next one. Smile and be lighthearted. Just assume your flirting will get you nowhere, and just enjoy the act of flirting. I like seeing people smile or happy as a result of my flirting, whether I am actually interested in them or not. By setting the bar low and expecting it to go nowhere, you have little pressure about doing it right. You'd be surprised how far it can get you. For me, it helped a great amount to notice that nothing bad will happen if I do flirt. Sure, people that aren't interested will shut you down, but only with their tone or choice of words. Nobody will call you out and say stop flirting. Next thing was to be confident in myself and realize that people could actually be interested in me. Last but not least, practice. You don't learn to flirt in one day. Also, the fear you have to overcome to start it or say something flirty becomes less and less the more often you do it. As for what to say, honest compliments usually work best. Confidence in both talking and behaving. Pay attention to what they say. This is actually huge. I am not saying that you have to be attentive as a person and really make all their wishes come true, but just keep little things in mind and play your card every once in a while. Mainly what I mean with this one is master the art of conversation and relationship, whether it is with a friend, co-worker or potential date. In addition to this, paying attention to the details will reveal the person you are trying to date. You will find out what kind of girls guys they like, and depending on your main goal you can play around this. Don't be clingy, ever. It might sound dumb, but take your time to respond to messages and stuff. Sometimes be busy with other things, no matter if you are in the process of early dating. If others see that you are busy with valuable stuff, that is a turn on. Don't give yourself easy, be busy. Sometimes play hard to get. There is nothing wrong with that. Trust me. Eye contact can be huge, but you have to know the balance between seeming confident, brave, and being a weirdo. Just look into people's eye when they are talking to you or vice versa. Good luck in your conquest, mate. D. Don't try to be too clever or witty. It comes off as insecure. And when you think about it, that's pretty accurate. If your approach is based on the theory that for this person of the opposite sex to want to talk with me, I need to come with something really interesting, then you must not think that highly of yourself, right? I've gotten practice enough over the years to make light jokes early on, but you aren't missing out on very many opportunities if you just lightly break the ice and see where it goes. Again, keep it light, keep it light, keep it light. Whatever it is you're trying to do, don't try too hard. Don't overthink. Don't even attempt to flirt. Just talk, engage, and be interesting in your own way. People naturally gravitate towards others who are confident in who they are. If you can do that, flirting will come naturally. If they are your bartender, barista, waitress, or any other job where they are paid to be nice to you, they are not flirting. So don't get disappointed when nothing comes of that, and don't make it weird by asking for their number. If they act that way towards you in a random public place with no monetary incentive, then yes, maybe you can flirt back and see what's up. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.